Hello, my dear students. I hope that you can hear me well. So, can you hear me? Can you see the screen? Great. So, today we have the last lecture, actually. And starting from this week, we are going to add some new classes for our course. So, starting from this Saturday, we're going to have additional labs. So they're going to take place on Saturday at, if I'm not mistaken, so I suppose that we will start at 11:15, or, by the way, we can start at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock on Saturday, and we will have two classes of labs. So everything is going to be the same as usually. We are going to have two labs on Saturday, and starting from the next week, we are going to have two labs on Friday as well. So, our lectures are going to be over today, but what I am going to add to the course, I will add the tests that you can try to complete so that you are able to get ready for the exam. You will be able to pass these tests as many times as you wish, and the tasks similar to the tasks of the test are going to be present in the exam. That is why do not hesitate to make some time available and complete these tests just to get ready to the exam. So, is everything clear? Of course, do not worry if you cannot be present on the practical classes. You always have the ability to pass the labs later on. So this is not the point. Yep, everything is clear. Very good. So today we have the last lecture, which is about the forecasting in Excel, forecasting tools, and advanced charts. So let's start with the forecasting in Excel. First of all, we will speak about the trends that we can build in Excel. So let me create lecture 7.1 table. Excel allows us to forecast data in different ways, actually. And the first two types of trends that we are going to work with are the linear and exponential trend. So we will start working with forecasting from the very simple case. Let's assume that we have the date and the profit. And we have the dates, different profits, and we want to forecast what profits we are going to make in the future, for the future dates. So let's create some dates starting from the 1st of January 2021. We'll just fill months, and we will go to today is the 5th month, and we have the profit. I'm going to have random between. Let me assume from 50 to 100, or maybe to 75, multiplied by 10 plus random between. We will do this in a little different way, probably. Like this. Fill series so that everything is good. Random between multiplied by this one divided and multiplied by like this. So let's copy and paste the values only. Let's delete this. So we want to know what profit values we are going to get in the future. So let's just build a chart of the profit. We'll go to insert, go to recommended charts, and we can select this, like clustered column. And you can see that we have a linear growth. And why is it linear growth? I suppose that you remember that when everything is very narrow, there are no extra peaks or something, this is the linear trend. So let's create like couple of the values. I suppose we'll do this for 6 months, like this. And we will need a function which is going to help us to forecast our values. So this function is called forecast. What are the parameters that this function takes? So the first is x, and x is the value or the values that we want to get the forecast for. Then we have the known y's. This is our profit, and the known x's are the dates that we have. So we have the x, we have known y's. Let's fix them. And we have known x's. Let's fix them as well. And that's it. So now we have some additional data, some forecast data. Let's do it this way. Some forecast data for our profit. Let's copy these values and put them, just select them, Command C or Control C, go to our profit and Control V. And you can see that these values were added right here, and they complete the trend line. So you can see that, like, I will just select these values only. Like this. So these are our forecasted values right there. Nothing difficult. So this is one of the simplest forecast functions. Okay, I suppose that this is not very difficult. So let's create lecture 7.2 worksheet, and let's create another table. We will have absolutely the same date and profit table, except for the data is going to be different. What are we going to have? Suppose that I'm going to have one. like this. Okay, we'll try it here. We pass the values only, and now you can see that the data is different. Well, it differs a lot. So let's insert a new graph. Oh, it's even too much fun. Like this. This one is going to be much better. No, this one. This one is going to be much better. So let's insert the chart. So you can see that the growth is very big. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to use another function to build the trend, or to build the forecast for this type of data. So as you can see, we have the exponential type of growth, and to build the data for the exponential growth, we are going to use the growth function. It has known y's are the profit, known x's, new x's, and the constant. We will not use the constant variable, but we will use the like known y's and known x's. So known y's, then known x's, like this, and the new x. So it's going to look like this, and probably that's interesting. Why is it so small. That's interesting. Let's try to let's try to do this one more time. Known wise. Yeah, this way. Like this. So the constant is going to be 1, probably, which is fun. Okay, so with the function called grows, we can get the exponential function work as needed. So this way. This way is finally going to work. So, do you have any questions about the forecast of grows functions? Okay. Okay, so let's go on. We will work with one more function, which is going to help us forecast values as well. Okay, so we have date, profit. We have this data again. Let us delete these values here, and we will add a new column. Number or employees amount or number of employees. And we want to see how our profit varies depending on the number of employees that we have. So this is going to be the kind of parametric forecasting. So we will use something like this, random between 100 and 200. That would be enough. This is going to be general type, like this. Last values. And the profit is going to depend mostly on the number of employees, maybe. Random between 50, 75, multiplied by number of employees divided by 100, multiplied by 1000, plus random between 10, 15, or maybe 20. Like this. Last values. So let's build a graph on the number of employees and the profit that we have. We go to the recommended charts. Yep, and this is what we have. So you see that we cannot see the number of employees in the graph. We have only small values right here, and we cannot see the dependence of one value from another. That is due to the fact that we need to build the number of employees on the additional axis. So how to do this? We just go to format plot area. Just select the number of employees. Number of employees are on the secondary axis, and these are going to be on the primary axis. Just select data. Oh, not this way. Change chart type, and we will go with the line. Number of employees is going to be the line, and it's going to be on the secondary axis, and the profit is going to be on the primary axis, and change chart type to column. Yes, this way. So you can see that we have a dependence between the number of employees and the profit. So it is even clear on the chart. So how to forecast for several parameters? Let us assume that we have a forecast, or we have an assumption of how many employees we are going to have, and between 100 and 200. This is going to be the general. And we need to forecast the values. We will use another function which is called trend. In order to use this function, we need to select the cells that we are going to apply this formula to, because this formula is an array formula. That is why what we are going to do, we select everything right here, press equal, and start with trend. We have known y's. Known y's are right here. Fix them. Known axes are the number of employees and the date. Like this. The new axes are going to look like this. And the constant is going to be 1. Press OK. Oh my god. Don't forget the combination. Ctrl-Shift-Enter. So it is going to look like this. So let's add this data to the chart. And you can see that we have the forecasted values, and they also dependent on the number of employees. Nothing difficult. So do you have any questions about these forecasting features of Excel? Okay, so no questions. That's good. So we will go to the next point. So, what are we going to start with? Except for the most simple charts that we can build in Excel, we can use Excel to build pretty difficult and complex charts as well. So, the first diagram or the first chart that we are going to work with is called sparklines. So sparklines are one of the latest features of Excel. They were represented, or they were imported to Excel only in 2013. And what is a sparkline? Sparkline is a diagram or is a chart that is placed in one cell only. So how does it look like? Let's create a new table. We have branches and we have months. Let's have January, February, March, April, and we have different, oh, maybe we are going to put branches here. Let's have branch 1, branch 2, branch 3, branch 4. We have January. Let's have them for several months. And let's create run between. Like this. So we have different profits for 4 branches for several months. How to work with the sparklines. We can build the sparkline easily. For example, we select everything, then we go to the insert, we have sparklines. Let's go with line, and we select where to place these sparklines. We select the cells next to the data, press enter, and now we have the sparkline data. We can set the high point, the low point, the first point, the last point. We can have the markers, the negative points, by the way, and so on and so forth. We can set it to look as the columns and win-loss options. So sparklines are actually not difficult. How can we import the sparklines another way? Let's clear these. Let's clear all of them. If we want to insert the sparkline the very same way, we can just select the place where we want to put our sparkline. We go to column maybe, and we select the data range for the sparklines. And that's it. I suppose that this is not difficult at all. Let's go to the next chart. The next chart is going to be called a tornado chart. And to work with it, I will need, I suppose, some piece of information which is called the age, sex, statistic. A couple of minutes. Do you have any questions about the spark lines? One second, looking for the data, actually. So I suppose that we will have this table which is going to tell us some facts about the population by sex and age groups. Okay, so what we are going to have? We are going to have age group, and we are going to have male and female. So what about the age groups? I'm going to go with these ones, values. Then, if we speak about males, I'm going to have something like this, past values, and if we're going to speak about females, we're going to work like this. Okay, so now we would like to build a table that would represent all these data in one simple chart. So we want this chart to be, well, pretty clear. That is why that would be great if we could be able to build one piece of data, for example, male on one side of the chart and the females on another side of the chart. So in order to do this, we need one column to be negative. It may be male or female, it does not really matter. So how to do this? Well, there are a couple of options. Of course, we can go everywhere, or we can just try to multiply it by -1, then copy, paste in, and so on and so forth, but we can make it a little bit faster. We just put -1 here, then copy it, select the female column, go to, or let's go to male column, go to past special, and operation multiply. Okay, and now we have all the values negative. And that's it. And now we just need to go to the insert recommended charts. Yep, we have clustered bar or stacked bar, or it is also called 2D bar, like this. So now we have all the data represented in one chart. This chart is called the tornado chart. So this is not very difficult, I suppose. Okay, one small life hack. For example, for the data that we had before, like this. Let's just copy the data, go there, and paste it. Like this. So we have a chart with all the data for the profit and so on and so forth. But if we have the new data for the new couple of months, for example, June, July and August, and let us just copy them right here. We cannot see them on the chart, and in order to do that we can just go to the chart, then we can drag it down and we will add them to the chart, or we can just select the new data, copy it and paste it directly on the chart. This is the way as well, but we can make it much easier actually. Let's just delete this. In order to do that, we need to format this table as a table like this, and then we can build a chart for this table. And then when we add some new data, the chart would automatically add these values in it. So this is just a life hack that we can use in order to make our chart more interactive and more automatic. Okay. Let's look at another type of diagram that we may work with. If you ever worked with projects, you should probably know the Gantt chart. So Gantt chart is the inevitable chart that we use when we work with the projects. It allows us to use all the stages of our project and place them on a single timeline. So how to build this chart with help of Excel? We will create a new table we just call project stage, then start date, then duration and end date. So what project stages are we going to have? Let's just try to find the design project steps. Or just simple projects that we may have. This is going to be project selection, feasibility study, operational planning, implementation, sustaining. Like this. So the start date of the first stage is going to be the 1st of May. Like this. The duration is going to be 64 days, and the end date is going to be the start date plus the duration. The start date of the next stage is going to be the end date plus 1. So this way we will be able to set the durations and the start and the end days of the project stages. So 31, then we have 14, implementation is going to be 78, and sustaining the project is going to be 14 or maybe 10, like this. So how are we going to draw this chart. Well, nothing difficult. Let's select the first two columns of the chart. We go to the 2D bar, like this, but we will use the, by the way, clustered, like this. So you can see that we have different start dates and project stages, but we do not have some of the information needed for this chart. First of all, you can see that we need to add the durations. Let's have them Command C, Command V, and we'll make this with no fill. But all the steps are vice versa, like they are in the opposite order. That is why we'll go with the data, and we can choose the categories in reverse order. And now we have this Gantt chart. Nothing difficult. Of course, if you would like to, you can work with some axes and text options, but as for me, this looks good as it is right now. Okay, let's go on. And we'll work with the next table. We're going to have date, revenue, and profit. So date is going to be have the combined diagram. Revenue is going to be random between. And profit is going to be revenue minus random between $40 like this. Past values. Okay. So let's build a chart. So what if we have several columns? We just go to Insert, we have Recommended Charts, and you see that we can choose the option that we would like to use, or that we may like to use in our chart. So let's go with Clustered Column. As for me, this is very good. And actually, what I want is to show profit as another chart. Change chart type, I go with line, and this is it. This is how I'm going to work with several types of data. Let's go to another chart. For example, we have a table with date and USD rate. And we want to create a table in a way that when there is a growth in USD rate, we have the bars painted in green, and when there is a decrease, we're going to paint the bars in red. We'll go like this, go with months, and the USD rate is going to be just random between suppose 23 and 60. Yeah, maybe multiply, divided by 10. Just past values. Like this. So, how to do this? If we want to do this in a complex way, we just can create the table, then select different charts and recolor them manually by hand. But this is not going to work good, especially when the table is going to be very big. That is why we're going to create a new column called, for example, change or variation. And we're going to do the next thing. We're going to subtract the previous value. And when we have positive number, we're going to have gross. If we have negative number, it is going to be red. Then we're going to have a new column called gross. And if the values of variation are negative, we're going to use nothing. And if they're positive, we're going to use the rate. That's going to be if variation more than 0. We're going to use USD rate. If it is less, we're going to use nothing. Or more or equal to 0. And that's it. The same goes with the decrease. If variation is less than 0, if it is not, we put nothing. And now we are able to insert a new chart. We will select data. We have legend entries. We're going to have chart data range is going to be like this. Oh, let's, by the way, delete this. Let's go with Y. Name is going to be gross. Y values are going to be like this. Plus decrease. Okay, decrease. And Y values are going to be like this. And horizontal axis are going to look like this. Press OK. And that's it. The thing that we need to switch actually is the view of the diagram of the chart. So we go to format plot area, and you see that we have some series overlap. If we put them to 100%, there are equal gaps between the bars, and let's create them green. And these ones are going to be red. So that's it. Nothing difficult. Okay, what else can we do with the charts? We can create simple graphs. So let's just create a very simple graph with x and y's. And the axes are going to be from -5 till 5, and y's are going to be, I don't know, maybe sinus of x. And now we can just create the chart here as well. But you can see that this x is represented as the chart as well, which is not good. That is why we just go to select data, we deselect X, and horizontal axes are going to be these ones, like this. Okay, and this is how we build the simplest chart. Of course, we can also do, and we can also create the 3D planes. Lecture 711. How to do them? Of course, we are going to have some x's and y's. So x's are going to be from -5 till 5 with a step of a half. And the same will go to y. Let's make them a little bit closer to each other. And how are we going to create this graph? Of course, we can fix the columns and the rows like this. For example, we're going to have x squared plus y squared. So we're going to use it like this, plus y squared. If we go down, go right, you see that we have a lot of problems, probably because we have different values. So in order to do it in the correct way, we're going to fix the row and the column. So in order to fix the row, we just put the $sign before the row number and the $sign before the column number. And now we are able to just fix the row and the column. We're able to do it like this. So this is the table with the values that we are going to build our chart on. And in order to build the 3D plane, just go to the recommended charts. We have a lot of chart types and so on and so forth. Okay, change chart type. We have the 3D lines, but these are not the chart types that we need. But we have the surface of the 3D plane. Go to 3D surface, and this is the type of surface that we are going to have in the end of the 3D graph. This is one type or one way to draw the 3D graph. Another one is by using the array formulas. We just select all the cells with the results, press equal, then select this column and square it plus this one, the square of this, like this. So that is what we are going to work with. Nothing difficult. And the final example. Oh, two final examples. I suppose. Of course, we will spend some more money, but that is not the problem, I hope. So, before we start, do you have any questions? No questions? Okay. So, we have the plan and the fact values for different branches. And what we would like to have, we want to look at the changes for these values. So we want to track the changes. How to do that? Let's create a new column, which is going to be percentage fact plan. It's going to be plan, or sorry, fact delete by plan. And we're going to create the total row, and it is going to be the sum of plan and the sum of fact, and probably we're going to count the fact plan percent here as well. So let's go on an empty cell, go to the chart, and we will select data. And what we're going to have, we're going to have select data, y values are going to be the final percent, and that's it. Like now, you see that we have something on the screen. But this is not the correct one, because we want like 46%, but not 1. So what are we going to do? We're going to form a data series. is it? The data isn't correct. So we go to the format data series. Yeah, and we want all of these like access options. The maximum is going to be 1. And that's it. And we have, yeah, the present format of the final number. But to make it look beautiful, we can not only do this in percent, like in relative values, but in absolute values as well. So let's add some fact right here. You can see that this is too big. Yeah, that's why we're going to put it on secondary axis. And now you see that we have an overlap. So this is absolutely okay. We made it on the secondary axis, and we need to apply changes to this vertical axis, like secondary vertical axis, because we have the maximum placed incorrectly. And we go to 2, 4, 3, 2, 5, 3, 0. Oh, not this one. 5, 3, 0, 8, 0, 0, 0. Like this. The minimum is going to be 0. Yep. And now you see that we have a great chart that allows us to see all the data and all the changes in data. And if we change the progress, the data chart will change automatically. Like this. And the final table, the final chart, that we are going to work with is going to be about the interactive charts. We will create the interactive charts using the formulas and tools that we used before. So imagine that we have a table with date, USD, rate, and that's it. But we have a load of entries for the date. We have the data for every day of the year. So they're going to be like 365 values. Yeah, here it is. And the USD rate is going to be random between 2 and 4. Like this. And what we would like to do, we would like to look at the chart for the months, but not for the year. And we want this chart to be built on a specific months that we are going to set. So let's create a simple chart that is going to contain data for 1 month only, and we will have the possibility to change the months so that we are able to see different data. So we'll create a new row, which is going to be a new cell. It's going to be months number. For example, 1, it's going to be January, and the first day of the month. And in order to find the first day of the month, we're going to use the formula which is called date. We've got 2022, and we've got months and the first day. So this is the first day of the first month. If we go second, we're going to have the first day of the needed months. So next we are going to take all the days, and to have this we are going to just add 1 day for the previous one, like this. So we have a lot of days, but we may have a problem, because if the month contains less than 31 days, we will have some problems. For example, if we go with March, with February, sorry, we are going to have the March values. This is not very good. That is why we will add a condition. We will work with it the next way. If months is a new function, months number of the previous cell plus 1 equals the month's number. And do not forget to fix it. Value, if true, it is going to be the cell plus 1. If it is not, it is going to be empty, like this. And you see that we do not have the next value, but we have 2 mistakes because there are no values before. That is why we need to work with a mistake, with the error. We will go with if error. If error, we just put nothing. And now we have empty cells. And if we go with the first one, we're going to have 31 days as well. And then we need the data for this chart, and we will use VLOOKUP function, vertical lookup. Lookup value is the date, and the table array going to be this one. Don't forget to fix it. Column index and 0. Like this. And we again have some mistakes. That is why we need to have the if error function added, like this. And that's it. Now we can build a chart based on this data. Select data. I'm going to have name, it's going to be date. Y values are going to be these ones. Then we're going to have USD rate, and Y values are going to be from the second column. Oh, we're not going to have the date, we're just going to put them for the horizontal axis, like this. Press OK, and that's it. That is what we have for the USD rate. And when we change the data, it changes automatically. And you can see that we do not have the next month's data shown in the table. So this is it. This is how we can create the interactive chart using the known formulas and tools of Excel. Okay, that's it for the lecture. Please tell me, do you have any questions on the lecture? No questions. Okay. Now, if you have no questions for the lecture, thank you very much for the lectures, and see you in 10 minutes on the practical class. So the practical class with ULab. Okay, so this is it for today. Thank you very much, and see you in 10 minutes. Bye bye.